Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road, and you're ready to go if you want to. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation podcast, special festival edition. Today we are on the phone with Susan, and she is with the Crawfish and Catfish Festival. They have that in September, and then they also host Mardi Gras there in outside of Sacramento. Susan, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Hi, good morning.
Susan, give us a little background on you. Where'd you grow up? Talk a little bit about your family and your career.
Okay, I grew up in a little place right outside of New Orleans, Louisiana, called Chalmette, where the Battle of New Orleans took place. And I moved out to California in late 1980s. And so we grew up, I always say in New Orleans, when you grow up in Louisiana, you grow up, like I say, with the spirit of Mardi Gras, crawfish in your mouth, Zydeco music in your soul. So we tend to take that with us wherever we go.
Very good, very good. All right, let's jump into Mardi Gras first. The when and the where.
Well, Mardi Gras 2024 will be in Old Sacramento and all over the city. I've been doing Mardi Gras in California since the late 1980s. The architecture in Old Sacramento is fabulous. It's got the Delta King Riverboat, which is the second boat that they built the same time they did the Queen in New Orleans, and the King is in Sacramento. So the waterfront, the architecture, everything, just brought me home. So I said, oh, we need a Mardi Gras here. So we've been doing that ever since. And the last 2 years have just got phenomenal. We have over 50,000 people lining the streets of Old Sacramento, catching beads, having fun, and eating some great food and listening to some awesome music.
Awesome. Very, very cool. All right. So 3 questions that help our listener encompass the full aspect of what you're doing. I want to know, what does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it smell like? Meaning foods. Hold on. What does it look like? What does it smell like? And what does it sound like? So let's go back to number 1. What does it look like?
What it looks like, actually, Sacramento and some of the parts of the older parts of Sacramento look like New Orleans. So if you take some pictures, I have pictures on the websites and everything. You see the architect. You'll see people enjoying people of all kinds and all flavors and all tastes. In Mardi Gras, it's all inclusive, but it also brings people together. Spirit. Everybody looks to have a great time. So the visual is costumes and beads and families in the line the streets, just all enjoying a real community, wonderful pageantry of floats and marching bands and people in costume. And of course, 2024 out here in California, and I think all over the world, is the year of Barbie. And since Greta Gerwig comes from Sacramento, she was the director. We have a whole Barbie section in our parade in 2024. So we're having fun with Barbie. And I think that's part of the thing we do in Louisiana, because Mardi Gras has a satiric, entity to it. So basically we get to laugh at ourselves and make, and enjoy, what's going on in the world as well.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot. Very cool. Okay, talk about some of the foods that people are going to experience when they are planning their vacation. Yeah.
A lot of Louisiana people are transplanted over here in California. They moved to the shipyards in the 1950s. So you have Creoles and Cajuns cooking real Louisiana food. And then, of course, we add in the Latino culture. We have awesome Mexican food as well as barbecue. So you've got these flavors, but there's gumbos and jambalayas and etouffees and alligator and crawfish, just like you'd see in the South. But the flavors are really, really good. The smells are predominant. We do wonderful food home in Louisiana out here. So you're smelling gumbo and jambalaya and fried fish and okra and even oxtails, and then you're watching this wonderful parade, and of course then you hear the music. We have authentic Zydeco, Cajun, and brass band music, as well as some super funk.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Marching bands, which is a predominant thing in most parades, but most of the ones here put that little New Orleans flavor in it as well.
Very good, very good. Hey, let's jump over to the Crawfish and Catfish Festival. That's unique for the West Coast. Let's jump into that. Let's talk about the when and the where for that one.
Really interesting. When I got out here in the 1980s, I took the not commercial and not tourist tours, and I went into the rice fields because I was enamored with the fact that they had, very similar. It's a river city, and they had rice fields. So when I found that, I also found crawfish and found out that in the late 1930s and 40s, a Frenchman from Louisiana who come out to California to grow rice brought in crawfish. So we had Louisiana red crawfish here, and only a few of us knew what to do with them. And so we started, a biologist started actually harvesting them and sending them all over the world. Well, I said, no, we have to keep some here and eat them. So we started the Crawfish Festival. And of course, we added Catfish because, it's just a big thing. And again, there was a large Creole population in the Bay Area. And so I found people that could really cook. And so we do Crawfish and Catfish Festival. And we have drawn as many when we could get it to be a free event. It drew as many as 150,000 people.
Wow, yeah.
Right now we're into 25, 30,000, and it's a gated, ticketed thing. We have fun. Again, we have great food and music and family atmosphere. I think that's what we like to share the most. And it really wasn't, it was unique out here because nobody had found it. That's all I can say. Coming from Louisiana, if there's a crawfish or an alligator or any kind of thing around us, we will find it, cook it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no doubt. That's true.
Crawfish here and proceeded to cook it. And there's a strong Vietnamese influence here in California, just as there is in Louisiana. So it was easy because they were cooking them and catching them as well. So now it's gotten to be real popular, and we've all joined together. So yeah, we were a gumbo of people, and we're all sharing the same flavors and sounds and excitement and family.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Talk about your passion for this, Susan. Your specific passion for people, gathering people together. What is that importance for you?
I think coming from the South, and we say, laissez les bon temps rouler, let the good times roll. I mean, when you live on the brink of a river overswelling and hurricanes coming in and things like that, and New Orleans history was very turbulent, so basically you savor the flavor of the moment.
I like that.
And that's what I do, and that's where we grew up. We have a festival for everything, and the world seeks to go to Louisiana for that, but you can have it wherever you are. Yeah. You can bring it home and get that feeling. And I think that's what I wanted to share. Being from there, and I missed it, so I wanted to recreate it.
Oh, so yeah, perfect.
Yeah, we moved out here in the 80s. I said, well, I could share that.
Yeah. Yeah, nope, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Okay, I got a couple of fun questions for you today.
Sure. Okay.
All right. First question is, this is just for my personal reference because I like to keep record of what's going on across the country. Susan, I want to know, what is the best concert you have ever seen your entire life?
Oh, I think, because I'm older and grew up in Louisiana on the Gulf Coast. I got to see Elvis in person. Exactly, because he traveled south extensively, and he was always in New Orleans.
Okay.
And of course, it's really hard to say what is the best, because in New Orleans area in particular, food is king and music is prince.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just wonderful. And we have Irma Thomas and the Neville Brothers, and the Marcellas. The music there is so vibrant and so exciting. Fats, played in union halls when I was a kid. So you went to a dance on a Saturday night and we got to see Fats Domino.
Okay, so are you going to answer my question, Susan?
What was the best one?
Yes.
I think the best one, I'd have to say, with Elvis in the South was really good.
Okay, that's the answer to this next question for a lot of people, but not for you because you've already experienced. Okay, dead or alive, you get to see one musical artist, actor, band. Who would you want to see?
I'd like to see Fats Domino one more time.
Okay, all right. You see, Elvis is most people's. It's not most people, but it's we hear that name a lot. So the fact that you've lived a bucket list concert,
something else. I saw him in Vegas, and I saw him in Mississippi. On the Gulf Coast, they had a big auditorium, but he would pop in. Him and a lot of artists would pop in and see Fats Domino. They were, he was a magnet that pulled people into, and he was Ricky Nelson. Some of these names, I don't know how old your audience are, but basically he had an influence on a lot of people.
No, that's fantastic. That's right. Susan, how do people find out more about your events, the Crawfish and Catfish Festival, Mardi Gras there in Sacramento? How do they find out more?
You can Google Crawfish and Catfish Festival Sacramento or Mardi Gras Carnival or Louisiana Sioux.
Okay.
I came out here and wrote a cookbook just so I could get to go back home as many times as I could do a book release.
Yeah. No.
When I came out to California, my thing was I had to stay here, but I wanted to go home as often as possible. So I wrote a cookbook.
There you go.
That's enough.
There you go. Very good. Very good. Well, thank you so much for being on with us. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. And if anybody gets out to California, just look up Louisiana Sioux. Just Google me, and they'll tell you where we're having a party.
That'll be great. Thanks so much, Sue.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road, and you're ready to go if you want to.